Greetings once again from the 71st Annual Lindau Nobel Laureate Meeting in Lindau, Germany, where 600 young scientists and 30 Nobel laureates have gathered for a week-long event like no other. And it's all about education and inspiration and connection. And this year, because of COVID, it's sort of a hybrid meeting. Most of the attendees are here on site, but we got 100 people joining us from around the world virtually. I don't know the breakdown this year, but usually there are 80 to 100 different countries represented by young scientists. And joining me right now is one of the attendees who is on site, one of our young scientists from ETH Zurich, Jelena Wohlwend, is from, you're from about
I'm
as
actually
close
from Liechtenstein.
Oh, okay. So also nearby. You're from Liechtenstein and you're
Yes.
currently working at ETH Zurich.
Exactly.
And you're standing right in front of the Inselhalle, which is
Yes.
our conference hall where the meeting's been taking place. So,
Exactly.
have you ever been to Lindau before since you live so close?
Yes, I've been to Lindau before.
Really? As a tourist?
Yeah, just visiting the city for a day trip.
Excellent. So, what was it like to find out? So you've known about the meeting probably for a long time. Tell me about that. Like, what you knew
No.
about the meeting and how you no?
I mean, actually, I did not know about the meeting, so it was not. I did not know about it. I was made known aware of it by a friend of mine who attended, I think, 3 years ago to the physics one. Yeah.
And let me ask you about the process. A lot of the people viewing might be potential future attendees. So, what is the process for a young scientist? When you did find out about it, what was the process that landed you here?
So you have to fill out a lot of forms and you have to write a lot about yourself and also your research. You need to get some letters of recommendation from your professors and other scientists, maybe. You have to tell why you want to attend and what you do as extracurricular activities, what you do in your research, and what is your motivation for science.
Well, then these questions will be easy because I want to ask you some of the very same questions. First of all, tell me about your science. You're not really exactly a chemist, are you?
No, so I'm actually a material scientist. So maybe I'm in between chemistry and physics. I do disordered network metamaterials. You can imagine they look like maybe metal sponges, but the pores are nanometric in size. So really, really, really small. So you cannot see them by eye. And they are they have perfect absorption, and I'm tuning that, and yeah.
And can you tell me something about the applications of that? What does that mean? I'm a non-scientist, so
Yeah, so I'm really not focusing on applications right now. So I'm more focusing on the fundamental properties that they have and how I can influence them. But maybe potentially in the future, we want to use them for catalysis.
and what does that mean?
So if you have perfect absorption, you have a lot of energy in them. So we want to use that energy for catalysis.
When you say for catalysis, I understand
Maybe
what a catalyst is, but yeah.
Use them to reduce CO2, for example.
Okay. And so, is there any Nobel laureate whose work is related to yours? Someone that maybe you were interested in meeting at the meeting because their work is related to yours?
I met Donna Strickland, and I
Yes.
was really excited about that because she works on lasers, and I also sometimes work on lasers. And it was really cool to talk to her.
Yeah, she's
Not
one of the
only
most
about
recent. She's one of the most recent
yeah,
laureates. Just a few years ago, won the first woman to win a Nobel Prize in physics in quite a long time. Yeah.
exactly.
So
And
what was
she's
that?
really nice to talk to.
I know, isn't she?
Yeah, really funny.
What was the situation? Were you at a meal or was it just, give me a taste of
No, it
your
was this
experience here?
open science talks where you could just ask questions, and she answered all of the questions, also the personal ones, and with really funny anecdotes.
Yes, she's great. I have met her before. So you also mentioned that in part of the process of applying for this meeting that you had to talk about some extracurricular activities. Do you have any other passions or hobbies? Do you have time for them?
Yes, so I read a lot, but just normal books. I do a lot of sports, so I actually I ride, and I do some running, but also some tandem cycling.
Excellent. So, as we can see behind you, these are young scientists coming and going from the Inselhalle, and we're observing strict COVID protocols, and everyone is tested every day before you can enter. And in fact, that's why I'm in my hotel room, because the day I got here, I tested positive. So I am not able to be there, and inside you see everyone's wearing masks. So, tell me, have you always known you wanted to be a scientist? Was there something that, can you back engineer your path? Was there anything that originally hooked you into science?
I mean, I didn't really know that you could be a scientist, probably. So when I was young, I was really good at math, and at chemistry. So, I mean, first I wanted to become a math teacher because that's the only thing that I knew. But then I think as my school career progressed, you learn about different fields you can study and also about jobs that you could potentially do. So that's, yeah, it just evolved as I grew up, I think.
Yeah. Can you tell me something about what you love about science and in particular chemistry? What is it that you like about it?
I mean, I really like that usually there is a right and a wrong answer.
Yeah.
It's not discussable, so it's really clear and there is a logic to everything. Even if you might not understand the logic, it's probably there and we just have to find it.
Oh, I like that. Is there something else that you wish more people understood about science? That the general. In fact, let me make this two questions, which is it important for the public to understand and appreciate science? And is there something more that you wish they understood about science or the scientific method or process?
Yes, I mean, first of all, I think it's really difficult to understand the scientific language. If a scientist says most probably, he means it's definitely like this. And I think the general public does not understand that. So they're like more, then it could be maybe different. So that's maybe something that either we have to communicate differently or the general public has to learn that how science is communicated.
Yes. And let's move that umbrella out of the shot. Thank you. And excellent. So let's talk about the meeting. So today is Wednesday. It's already the third full. It's still the morning, but it's the third full day here. Tell me about your impressions. Have you had any, besides speaking with Donna Strickland, have you had any other interesting highlights or impressions so far?
I mean, I talked to a lot of young scientists, which was really a highlight from like all over the globe, and they talked to me about their research, which was quite interesting. But I cannot maybe make out something specific. It was all pretty great.
Yes. And you know, the motto here is educate, inspire, connect, and it's about mentorship. Have you, in your career or in your personal life, had any mentors that were important to you?
I mean, I think my mentor right now, so maybe I can shout out to Henning Galinski. So he's maybe my PhD mentor, and he's a really, really good mentor. So he always finds the time to talk to me about everything. I can ask him, like, and he's also really, really motivating. So if I'm like feeling really low about my science and I'm like, oh, nothing is working, he always brings me back to the top and makes me motivated about science. And I think actually it was because of him that I wanted to do a PhD, because I wanted to work with him, because he's really a great mentor.
That's great to hear. And you've mentioned right away the interactions with young scientists. Do you feel like you might meet someone with future collaborative possibilities, or um, have you seen things? Maybe you've connected with people that are within your field, and maybe some others that are completely outside your field, since it's
Yeah,
such a
unfortunately,
multidisciplinary.
yeah, until now I haven't found someone that I could collaborate with, because they are pretty much out of my field.
Yes. But that's kind of interesting, because perhaps you go to a lot of science conferences where it's only people that are in your field. Um, Tell me how this meeting is different from most meetings you attend.
Um, Probably more younger scientists. I mean, at conferences, you also meet a lot of professors and like more established people in the field. And here they all are basically at the start. Not all of them, but a lot of them are at the start of their scientific career. Maybe they have a different view, or are still like really enthusiastic about doing going into research.
I sorry I didn't mention this before, but have you heard about the Lindau guidelines at all?
Yes.
And I wonder if they're across a variety of areas of just improving how science is done. I wonder if any of them are particularly relevant to you.
I mean, yeah, because I'm a woman, or
Oh no, I don't know. I mean, because some are like about open science and the need for open science, or.
uh,
But if you have something to say about being a woman in science, is that an issue that's important to you? Do you like talking about that?
I mean, I feel like it should not be about my gender.
I
So
know. Yeah.
I don't want to be reduced to my gender. But I think open collaboration is really important. And yeah.
And I spoke to two other young scientists from ETH Zurich, and we talked about international uh, cooperation, because more and more countries are so politically divided. Does your work depend on international cooperation and partnerships?
I mean, it does not depend on it, but last November I had the opportunity to go to a different university to do measurements there, which I could have not done at ETH because we don't have that particular machine. And I could also uh, benefit on a lot of their knowledge. So for me, it was really, really great, the exchange. But I'm not exactly depending on it. But I
Yes.
still find it really important.
Do you already have some other things on your agenda, to sessions or anything you're going to be attending today or tomorrow? Anything you're looking forward to?
I mean, not specifically. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to everything.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, thank you for taking I'm sure you're missing something right now just by taking the time to talk to me, but I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. So, Jelena Wohlwend, thanks, and have a great rest of the meeting.
Thank you.
Once again, I'm Brian Malow, and this is coming from the 71st annual Lindau Nobel Laureate Meeting. And we'll be speaking to some other young scientists, some of them attending
Brian?
virtually, and many of them
Oh,
on
sorry.
site. Yes, I'm still
Ryan?
I'm still on. I haven't said goodbye yet. Give me one moment. Yeah, are you there? Do you want to be on camera? Give me one moment as I
No.
wrap this up. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back with more from the 71st annual Lindau Nobel Laureate Meeting.
This one.
Yes.
Oh, here we are.